We are fresh from the fight. We have shed blood. Death, terror, and anguish sang sweetly in our ears.
But Lord Terran, have you taken prizes?
Do you doubt me, Kumelia? Many prisoners were taken. We have our tribute to Komara, and many left over from our slave chambers and your torture grounds.
Come, Archon! Come to my torture grounds. We win, we lose, win and lose. But always richer with slaves and spoils.
Indeed, we shall be well respected and rewarded when we return to Komara.
When we return, if we return. Return the victors. Return the vanquished. My grounds, where screams are flowers and pain their fragrance. A fine nest we have. High upon the cliff, hard to see. Hard still to reach. Will they reach this nest? Will they take away my garden?
Are you questioning my right to lead? My inevitable victory? I am the deadly shadow and the bird of prey. I am the poisoned dagger that brings swift death. These crude and foolish armies know nothing of strategy. If they see a wall, they attack it. If they see an army, they charge at it. They will be too busy with each other to notice us. Or if they do, it will be too late. Worry not. And it is of no matter, we keep a keen watch. If an army approached, surely we would see it coming. Then we would tear it to pieces.
Your end, which is me. When I die is damaged, but I soon return. You fool! I will have your head for this! Quickly, back to Kamala!
Well, if he had died, I should have taken his place. Now I must flee.
Rejoice in the coming oblivion! You will be killed by traitors' hands!
Alpharius Charon had grown weary of the pestilential nuisance of the Dark Eldar, and felt the time had come to crush them under the pitiless hammer of his Alpha Legion Chaos Space Marines. Had the Dark Eldar refrained from conducting raids on their chaotic comrades, they might have prospered in safety upon Karava IV's single moon. But alas, their time had come. The Archon Tariel's band of pillagers were no match for a full army of Chaos Space Marines. Unable to hide or run in their own base camp, the Dark Eldar fell before the invaders' fire. The Dark Eldar who were not slaughtered or fled found themselves subject to their vanquishers' cruel games. The heretic Chaos Space Marines made sport of their victims in the very cages and torture chambers in which their own brethren had been made to suffer. A just reward indeed, from the evil to the depraved.
You see, Big Boss Gorgut, this here's the strongest and bestest orc horde has ever held an orc.
Oh, is that so then?
Ain't no Yumi's got in here ever. With the rock-claw mountains all round us, there's only one way in. Even if there was to get in, they'd have all the boys to face. Oh, and the knobs, and the tanks. Then there's the squig-offs.
Say they beat all that.
That's when we get them with the fighter bombers. We'd squash them to a pulp. We got watchers watching day and night. Nobody but an orc gets close to us without we see them and crush them to smithereens. Boss! Boss! There's enemies in the camp! What? In the camp? We gotta stop them before they gets to the killing spot. Them drums! Beat the drums! Get to 'em!
What's this here killing spot?
Beat the drums! We've got to hold the killing spot!
Bestest orc hold ever, huh? Now my boys will show you how it's done. More sluggers! More!
My beautiful orc-hold!
I've had enough of this. Come on, boys. Let's get out of here.
Thousands of battles, the Chaos Lord Faravius Charon had developed cruelly keen instincts. Charon felt that he must crush the orc threat soon, or risk losing his foothold in the Karava system. He consulted his head sorcerer, only to have his suspicions confirmed by a divination. Gorged on bloodshed and strung with chaos, the Alpha Legions crushed the Orc forces. They tore through the ancient Orc stronghold, an enclave untouched by intruders for millennia. While his crazed, victorious soldiers butchered and burned the vanquished army, Lord Charon stalked the ground suspiciously, looking for Gorguts, his nemesis. Again, his instincts had proved true. The Great Orc was nowhere to be found. Still, the victory was won. No orcs would trouble the ascendancy of chaos.
We welcome your gracious presence, Aun Royu. I see that our Earth-cast engineers have made splendid progress in constructing the Nanyanoi base station. Yes, Your Eminence, it is nearly complete. There are only a few gaps remaining in our perimeter defenses, and they are heavily guarded until our orbital defense system is fully operational.
Setting stabilizers. Ready to fire.
Excellent. And this Arca cannon you have built, quite a marvel, as I understand it. Indeed. From this moon, we can fire on any habitable territory in the Kaurava system. Do you wish to inspect it yourself? It harms only advanced life forms, thus avoiding damage to structures and plant life. This is indeed most commendable. Our orbital defenses were built using the same technology. Both are controlled from this location. What is that? The perimeter has somehow been breached. I must attend to this. Please, Your Excellence, return to the Coalition Center. Yes, that may be best. Dispatch Pathfinders, locate the source of the breach, and see that they do not gain entrance and establish a foothold. Notify all Fire Warriors and Kroot Carnivore squads. Let us hope that our defenses are strong enough to hold them. The enemy is close upon us.
The enemy
We require your assistance.
It
This is our last chance. Strike at the coordinates I give you, and do not open fire for any reason.
Overtaking me.
Coordinates received. We will commence at once.
Unprepared for the fury with which the forces of chaos assailed their moon base on Nanyanoi. With no innate relation to the warp, and no psychers at their command, the Tau could not anticipate the many augmented powers that made the Alpha Legion such fearsome adversaries. The tortures and foul ceremonies performed upon the helpless Tau that were not fortunate enough to die in battle are beyond description. Within hours of the sack of Nanyanoi, the base was covered in its defenders' blood, and the carcass of their beloved ethereal hoisted upon the barrel of the Arca cannon, the one piece of the Tau base that Lord Charon did not see fit to desecrate.
Commander Boreal, enemy forces in our perimeter.
Where?
Southern Quadrant, but they were on the move. Current location unknown.
There is no time to be lost. Battle, brothers! Space Marines, today the enemy is at our door. We know our duty and we will do it. We fight for our honor as Blood Ravens, as Space Marines, and we fight in the name of the Emperor! And if we die this day, we die in glory. We die heroes' deaths, but we shall not die. No, it is the enemy who will taste death and defeat. As you know, most of our battle brothers are stationed in space, prepared to deep strike. Our perimeter has been prepared in the event that our enemies should be so bold and so foolish. We have placed numerous beacons, allowing for multiple, simultaneous, and devastating defensive deep strikes. Codex Astartes names this maneuver Steel Rain. We will descend upon the foe. We will overwhelm them. We will leave none alive. Meanwhile, our ground forces will ensure the full defense of our headquarters. We are the Space Marines. We are the Emperor's Fury.
Warp overtaken me. It is a good day.
When Chaos Lord Faravius Charon set foot upon the outer edge of the Lands of Solitude, he could feel his greatest of victories fast approaching. Already, he had beaten the legendary Blood Ravens back to the very door and left them cowering in their own stronghold. Emboldened by this turn of events, the Alpha Legion pressed on towards the headquarters of their ancient enemy and there engaged in battle. If the Blood Ravens had not fought so well, Lord Charon would not so thoroughly have relished their defeat. His Alpha Legion Chaos Space Marines, with chaos coursing through their veins, with screams and great acts of barbarity, had countered the enemy at every turn until victory was won. Although the dead Space Marines were horribly desecrated in the aftermath, it was those who somehow survived that were truly to be pitied. The dying Commander Boreal was forced to watch many of these unspeakable atrocities before the last trickle of life drained from his body. Lord Charon dedicated the Lands of Solitude to chaos, renaming the land in demonic Segrebliot. But his men called the place another thing entirely, Raven's Blood, for all that they had shed that day.
So, they come. Drink of it, and awake. They shall meet their ends. They shall join the army of death. Cross me and die. Necrons and the forces of chaos have little in common other than their enemies. Where one is a cold and silent army of death and dominion, the other revels in wild noise, mutation, and action. When the Alpha Legion found themselves standing above the cold necropolis that had emerged from the Emosan sands, they saw not just a foe, but the one thing which in their mad power and zeal they feared and abhorred: subservience, silence, the void. In the Battle of Emosa, the wild powers of the Chaos Gods proved themselves in every way superior to the older Catan gods of death. Even when one of these gods, the Great Deceiver, was summoned to fight in corporeal form against the Alpha Legion. By the time they were done, nothing was left of the ancient Necron city. All had been toppled, shattered, and smashed to dust.
How are the men?
Tolerable, sir.
Morale?
Good at central, poor in the front.
Casualties?
The same, sir.
Firing squads?
20 today, 12 for cowardice in the line of duty.
Baneblade production?
Tank crew munitions and parts are arriving by convoy on schedule, sir. As you know, it takes only the most highly trained crew to properly operate a...
I know.
Very good, General.
How many do we have on hand?
Unfortunately, sir, a shipment of 100 Baneblades has just gone out to serve.
I see. Look at this. Once this was a fine city, gleaming beacon of the Emperor's light, a center of industry. Now look at it. Commissar, I would like to see this city built up again. I would like to see towers and spires of gleaming white. I would like to see our men on parade routes, not tours of duty. I would like to see every city in this planet, every colony in this besotted, miserable system turn to the service and industry of the Imperium in the Emperor's name.
In the Emperor's name, sir.
But to see my dreams fulfilled, first we must wipe the system clean of these blasted Xenos and heretics and monsters and zealots. And to do that, this base, our center of command, must operate free of danger or harassment. Our troops are ready. Our tanks and our sentinels. And if the Emperor wills it, we will have functioning Baneblades. Tell me, Commissar, are we prepared? Or will we be lambs taken to slaughter? Well, we'll do what we can and pray for victory. The enhanced Basilisk cannon has been prepared by our tech priest engineers, has it not? It can be fired at will.
Very good, General.
It only requires an artillery spotter. We shall place our faith in the God Emperor.
In the Emperor's name, sir.
That will have to do the job. As always, we place faith in the Emperor. All my work, crushed. All the good men who gave their lives for this cursed, this blasted system. Though my army lies in ruins today, I have not done fighting, and I will remember who my enemies are.
Lord Charon's forces had wiped out in a single blow the 253rd and 254th Conservator Regiments of the Imperial Guard. Then, after crossing the entire system in a warpath of blazing conquest, they came to face the 252nd Regiment in their heavily defended city stronghold. The Alpha Legion no longer had the element of complete surprise, or the warp storm to their advantage. But the result was the same: utter victory for Chaos. The Alpha Legion considered this conquest a strike against the Imperium itself. Lord Charon let his Chaos Space Marines, cultists, and other forces loose upon the city. The guardsmen were rounded up. Those that did not turn over to Chaos immediately did so out of madness after a little torture. And very few died faithful to their false emperor. Although Stubbs himself had somehow escaped, the broken bodies of his top officers were set up high upon a stage as a token and trophy of the day.
she comes.
Sisters, the living holy saint of the Emperor, Saint Ananias, scourge of heretics. In ruins. My side!
But set us loose!
In ruins!
I feel the war overtaking me. It is a good pain.
We are forsaken.
Hell
And yet we must fight. Sisters, we must fight and go in glory. This place is sacred. You shall not set foot here in the Emperor's name. It was a momentary madness. Sisters, we must go as martyrs! We must go in flames! In flames!
Second only to the Space Marines, the Alpha Legion found a natural enemy in the Sisters of Battle. If anything, the Sisters Militant stood even closer to the false Emperor, whose destruction they were sworn to perpetrate. In the Order of the Sacred Rose, the Soldiers of Chaos saw more than revolting pious zeal. They saw manifest evidence of the Emperor's powers through the Sisters of Battle's many acts of faith.
Spurred by these considerations, and the active threat the Sisters of Battle posed, Lord Charon resolved on a direct attack. He would prove definitively the superiority of the Chaos Gods. The Alpha Legion Chaos Space Marines certainly proved their own superiority that day, routing the Sisters of Battle and spurning their powers, prayers, and their living saint alike. Of the dark ceremonies and horrible atrocities that the victorious soldiers of Chaos perpetrated there in the Sama district, it is not best to give a full account. Under the orders of Lord Charon himself, however, several particularly horrible examples were blasted into space, in a path that would surely be intercepted by an Imperial battle fleet.
They approach. We are prepared.
Yes, Farseer, but
Yes?
must we fight?
We shall fight. They must never suspect. They shall come, expecting the obvious, the simple, the artless. They shall stab at the shadows with confused minds and troubled hearts. Meanwhile, we shall appear unseen from 10 directions, and from every one, strike a fatal blow. Do you know the history of this place, which we call Esselir Talith and the young races call the Upper Wastes?
We, the Eldar, made our war camp here. In a past age.
Yes, that is so. Our ancestors came here to fight the Necrons when they were an overwhelming wave that swept the worlds. This system was one of their stages of destruction, their foundries of undeath. Our ancestors defeated them here. We constructed our war operations center here as an illusion. No brute army, no simple display of force could uncover its secrets, and none ever shall. No, it is more than an illusion. It is a clever trap, this place our ancestors forged. It is a net covered in leaves that the savage beast willingly stands on, tempted by a bloody morsel, only to find itself hoisted, trapped at the hunter's mercy. No, we shall guard our secret. No force can strike a target it cannot find. We shall not yield up our foothold on this world. Karava was once ours, and shall be ours again. We came here long, long ago. We did battle with our deathless foes, the Necrons, and won. This day we have lost. If they swarm again like locusts here, some other must stop them. For we shall be gone.
Rejoice in the coming oblivion! Death to the enemy!
by their elusive tactics. Chaos Lord Alpharius felt a growing ire towards the Eldar. His longing to crush these troublesome foes, combined with his desire to claim the barren lands of the Upper Wastes for a great temple and testament to the powers of chaos, ensured that the Alpha Legion would attack at their stronghold without great delay. Soon Lord Charon could wait no longer, and his Chaos Space Marines struck with deadly might and fury. They thwarted the many tricks and traps that Farseer Keris set, unleashing havoc in their wake. After the enemy were routed and the Farseer had fled, Charon loosed his men to hunt and torture the remaining Eldar. After nothing living was left, the Chaos Space Marines took to looting and destroying the Eldar structures and stores. Once, there was a simple soldier who was ignorant that he possessed latent abilities as a psyker. Without training, he could not guard himself, and the gods of chaos whispered to him, driving him feverishly mad. They made him carry out certain plans, perform certain black rites, so that a terrible rift in space and time was forged. Chaos poured out. The Alpha Legion appeared, and the warm storm blossomed from the rift. The gods gloried in their deed. Led by Chaos Lord Alpharius, the Alpha Legion spread, slaughtered, and conquered. No force, not even the mortal enemies, the Imperial Space Marines, could withstand the wrath. 9 armies vied for the Kauriva system, and Chaos proved mightiest of them all. The 4 Kaurivan planets now teem with the strange and twisted forms of chaos. Demons walk openly, and the warp storm grows in size and strength. The Alpha Legion, under Lord Charon, make ready for a far greater war against their oldest and most hated of enemies, the Imperium of